course, this time around, we've got River City Roller Derby's Rats team versus Twin Valleys Roller Derby's Mountain Mayhem.
Tornado Alley out there for Twin Valleys Roller Derby. And Pee Wee Hertzman in the back for River City. No pack is called, but Tornado Alley is dragged back there by Country Jam on the outside line. Meanwhile, Tornado Alley is here at the front of the pack being held back. And unfortunately, a multiplayer penalty be assessed to number 11, that's Iggy Impalia, with a Station 2 star pass to Sigmund Feud.
And a quick call, which leaves Iggy in the box, unfortunately. Looks like River City's going to start a player down. Nope.
And looks like we have
a quick timeout.
Timeout. Only a point difference so far in this game. We've only entered 3 jams so far. About to start our 3rd jam of the day. This is game 3 of day 2 of People's Battle of Richmond. I'm Smack Mamba, and I'm joined here by Disco. It's our first time announcing together. Been dying to get to it.
It's usually because I'm stuck on the track, right? Like, finally I'm allowed not to be a jam timer, which I do love jam timing so much. But, like, now they've allowed me to wear something other than the color black. And they've put me here to yell at you guys for, like, the next hour. It'll be good.
And I'm just on the injury train until 2025, so you'll be hearing a little bit more of me this weekend, and hopefully not next season very often.
Yeah, that's valid.
And we're back. Jam is on with Lynn Diesel out there for River City, getting lead jammer out the gate with Black Bolt for Twin Valleys coming up right behind.
Two extremely strong jammers. And better to call it now than duke it out.
Sure. I fully expect this game to be a nail biter with a lot of back and forth. These skaters are very familiar with each other. We've played Twin Valleys many, many times over the years, and a lot of these folks are friends of ours on Team Virginia.
It's always fun to see. Like, I mean, last game was fun because people were feeling each other out, right? Like, people didn't know each other's tactics. This time around, everybody knows what everybody's good at. Everybody knows everybody's weaknesses. So it's going to be just who can get to what first.
Some amazing hip avoidance there by Kill Switch, who was able to just hop over everybody's hips on that tripod with Ultraviolet right behind. Kill Switch is hit to the inside there by Tornado Alley and calls off the jam while on the ground. And looks like we have 2 of the Twin Valley skaters checking on one another before we enter this next jam. A little TLC to make sure our players are okay. And of course, on top of that tender love and care from our teammates, we also have an amazing medic team here today. Shout out to our EMTs. We couldn't do this without you.
Legally and literally.
Yeah. Looks like we have Shaw out there, or is that a little lawless? Unfortunately, it looks like Cannibal Lee will be going to the box for River City, giving us a power jam for Shaw. And that power jam is brought to you by My Pussies in Hell podcast, your favorite gruesome twosome podcast, and apparently everybody's favorite sponsor of the tournament. Shaw gets through with all those points. River City attempting to set up some defense against Twin Valleys' formidable wall. Big hit there on to Shred Flanders.
Cannibal back on the track, ready to rejoin the pack.
Cannibal Lee out there with a lot of spin maneuvers around those blockers' hips, getting sandwiched between 2 of the Twin Valleys skaters and getting popped right through.
I will say, I do love a good spin move, right? It is one of my favorite derby techniques. It's flashy, it's good television. it gets you where you need to go.
As long as you don't get too dizzy, because I
Yeah.
will say sometimes you get spun around and you're like not sure where you left off at. Current score, Twin Valleys 16, Rats 7, with Pee Wee Hertzman out there for River City Roller Derby, and I believe Tornado Alley is out there for Twin Valleys. Pee Wee Hertzman trying to push up on that inside line, but is shut down by number 17. That's going to be Vestigial Grim. And Tornado Alley gets with a spin maneuver on the inside there, getting lead jam.
A lot of people hitting the ground this time around. Sometimes you do just have to check and make sure that the ground works.
Phyllis Killer runs back Pee Wee Hertzman. Looking for a little help from their friends there as Tornado Alley comes up to pick up more points. Scoots past that River City Jammer.
And that pack's getting stretched real long. And that's the jam.
An attempted run back there by Country Jam. Tornado Alley decides to call it off. Current score, Mountain Mayhem 20, Rat 7.
Twin Valleys establishing a pretty strong lead here. It is, of course, only 7 minutes into the game. It is anybody's game, but it is good, as we saw last game, good to get that strong lead right at the beginning. Looks like we got Lynn Diesel up against Black Bolt again. They didn't get a chance to really duke it out last time, so we'll see what this jam is like.
Shred Flanders truly just holding back Black Bolt there as the River City Tripod tries to reform around, but Black Bolt will escape and get lead jammer for this round with Lynn Diesel right behind. Black Bolt looks to their bench and sees they need to call it off and before Lynn Diesel can pick up any points.
It is very much one of those things. Those are two jammers that are very equally matched. It's got to be one of those get whatever points you can and get out, because if you let the other jammer get through it, it's going to be a mess.
I have a feeling this game is going to come down to power jams, but hopefully not too many so I don't have to say it too
Keep saying the
frequently.
name, yeah.
Say the thing. Kill switch out there for River City Roller Derby on the jam line. And Ultraviolent for Twin Valleys. Ultraviolent taking a moment to look around and kind of assess where the River City Jammer is.
Now, Smack, we're seeing a lot of matchups here happening multiple times in a row. You're someone who jams a lot. Do you find that it's easier to just find a good pairing that works, or do you find from a bench side that like trying to change up who's jamming against who every time around is better?
I think it just depends, especially in a game like this where you might already know the other jammer and you can kind of play around with them a little bit. Everybody's here hoping to win today, but sometimes it's fun to just mess with your friends and knock them to the outside line and run them back for kicks and giggles, you know?
That's true. What is this game if not a sanctioned way to go beat up your friends and have fun about it?
Oh, and looks like we have a helmet cover on the ground there. With Country Jam facing off with Tornado Alley, not wanting that pass to happen. But Tornado Alley is successfully able to take a Station 2 star pass. But unfortunately, the jam is going to be called off where they can pick up any points.
Quick shout out to our track crew, keeping everybody safe, making sure nobody lets the refs out from their designated lane.
Disco, I feel like you had a pair of roller skates at one point and
I
thought
do.
about getting them out there on the track.
I would love to get back on skates. I am terrified of pain, however, so that makes me really badly suited for roller derby, but I do love skating.
Well, if we have anybody else here that is curious about getting 8 wheels under their feet, we are sponsored today by Sacred Roller Skate Supply, your source for high-quality skates and gear, custom builds, and community engagement. Queer-owned and operated since 2020, Sacred brings not only unique passion for fostering a supportive environment for skaters of all levels and identities, but also industry-leading brands support a safe skating lifestyle, whether it's roller derby, park, skating rink, or recreational. Sacred has you covered. They are located at the front of the building here today. They also have a shop located in Northern Virginia. We absolutely love them. Go and check them out.
They are, in fact, where I bought my skates, the whole good skate package.
You'll have to update us on what we just missed. I was just too busy hyping them up.
No, you're good. Looks like we are now at River City at 9 points. The Mountain Mayhem still at 22. We are sneaking ever closer with the Rats this time around. Looks like we got Pee Wee Hertzman back up against Tornado Alley.
It's just so hard when I'm dreaming about all the new skate items I want to buy next season. And I know exactly where I'll be getting them from. Looks like we've got Bad Lass out there trying to help Pee Wee Hertzman get out. With Twin Valley's tripod trying to reform, Pee Wee Hertzman is able to get out and get lead jammer for River City Roller Derby. Strong tripod set up in the front here again by Twin Valleys, trying to hold Pee Wee back, while Tornado Alley has taken off the star and is looking for an opening.
River City with an extremely aggressive wall, but Twin Valley's just the same.
And jam is called off. Current score, Mountain Mayhem 22, Rats 13. River City getting a few points on the board there. Just shy of or just over a 10-point difference.
Yeah, I imagine we're going to stay really close in score for this game. And we got Lynn Diesel up against Black Bolt again. Let's see. Both walls extremely strong right from the start. I think they are learning how this dance works.
Painter Shine will be going to the penalty box for River City, just as Black Bolt squeezes through a 2-wall there by Shred Flanders and Dio Slambo in the front. Pin push in, tries to capture Shred Flanders there, who's taking a Station 2 star pass, while River City tries to reform and hold Black Bolt. Another one of our vendors today, we have Fist City Print Club, local skater-owned shop selling handmade skate-themed apparel and more. You can also check them out in the back, owned by our very own Pixel Whip from River City and Internal Glam Nation.
All right, we've got Kill Switch up against Ultraviolent.
Getting squeezed in there in the center, just not allowing them to take any of the lanes, just really locked into those hips. Ultraviolent sees a wide open inside line, but Punky Bruiser attempts to cover, but not before tripping, allowing Ultraviolent to get out.
Killswitch making it through.
Some fancy toe stop work there on the inside line by Ultraviolent, just as they call it off.
You know, what's always fun for me, because I'm normally in the middle jam timing, right, is a lot of different jammers have a lot of different ways to call off the jam. You'll have a lot of, like, very dainty, just tapping the hips kind of reserved things. But, like, a lot of times refs don't see that. And so now I feel like a lot of the players in Virginia have realized this, and so they'll do very big, exaggerated calling off the jams, because otherwise you just don't see it. And then maybe somebody sneaks by and gets a couple extra points you were trying to keep them from getting.
Oh, I know as a jammer, I'm going to yell it. I'm going to jump up and down and wave my arms as much as I can so that if anything, at least they'll look at me and hopefully call it a little bit sooner for me. We have Shaw out once again. Not sure if you caught yesterday's game, Disco, but Shaw was by far one of the most formidable jammers out there and just was able to play all the positions and really hold the team together.
No, unfortunately, I missed yesterday, but I am excited to check the Twitch stream. Shout out to you guys. I was excited to check the video logs to see what it looked like.
Had a fun apex jump there on the inside line by Cannibal Leaf for River City. But unfortunately, didn't pick up any points in that last one, but we still love to see it. Love a little pizzazz. Pee-wee Hertzman's out there again for River City on the jam line. Twin Valley's currently down a blocker. I'm not sure if we've seen this jammer out yet in this game.
Both jammers just right on each other.
That looks like it's going to be a little Lawless who's in front of Pee-wee, but Pee-wee was given lead jammer. Pee-wee decides to call it off instead of try to race a little Lawless around the track there. Again, both of these teams just trying to really chip away at those points.
Yeah, this early into the game, there's no need to go big, crazy energy expenditures and dashing around and stuff. This isn't bank track derby. You can take it slow. You can get the points where you can get. No need to tire yourself out just yet.
Especially with a weekend like this where you're playing multiple games over multiple days.
I couldn't imagine.
Lynn Diesel out there for River City Roller Derby.
Black Bolt once again for Twin Valleys, both stuck in the walls.
Both these jammers are in the sad place at the moment with neither team crossing over the pivot line. River City really reforming around with a big hit there. Let's see, that's going to be Mega Psychotic. Attempted to hit Lynn Diesel out there, but unfortunately picked up a point or a penalty in that situation. Wide open on that outside line there for Lynn Diesel. And we had a Station 2 star pass to pin pushing, it looks like.
Lynn Diesel grabbing a couple of those points, calling it, leaving Twin Valleys down one player for the start of the next jam.
Looks like we have Ultraviolent out there against Kill Switch for River City. Twin Valley setting up here in the front, moving backwards to sit on the River City team. A little bit of O there from Painter Shine, but we have Phyllis Killer who's knocked Kill Switch out and runs them back. And Kill Switch is able to get around Phyllis and get through on that inside line as Ultraviolent is still stuck behind the River City pack here with a drag back by Country Jam. Kill Switch comes around for the second round of points here,
Ooh.
or first pass, I believe.
Took a huge hit. That was a very strong hit. Very safe fall, too.
Oh, and it looks like we've seen an attempted Station 2 star pass. But unfortunately, when it's dropped, you have to hand it directly back to that jammer and wait for the pass to be done correctly.
But it does look like Tornado Alley has gotten past. And, of course, that's the end of that jam.
Twin Valleys will be starting down once again with Phyllis Killer in the box.
And just a quick check-in with just over 11 minutes left. We've got River City at 21 points, Twin Valley at 31.
10-point game, y'all. Don't forget, here at halftime, we also have a special performance from drag performer Michelle Levine. Voted Richmond's best drag performer 2 years in a row. Our very own Michelle Levine will be performing at halftime, so get those ones ready, y'all. Out on the jam line, we have Cannibal Lee as our lead jammer with Shaw directly behind. Looks like Cannibal was able to pick up 1 point before Shaw gets to the pack and calls it off.
Sometimes you just got to grab those quick points, quit it.
Coming out next on the jam line, we have Pee-wee Hertzman for River City Roller Derby and Tornado Alley back again for Twin Valleys. We've had a steady rotation of our jammers for these previous games, so no surprise there to see both of these jammers back out.
Strong
Jam.
defense right from the start.
A little bit of beautiful O there from Punky Bruiser. Ooh, and it looks like we have a little bit of chest-to-chest contact there for Pee Wee Hertzman, but they're able to get through and get lead jammer for River City. Looks like we've got a little bit of like one-on-one defense happening out there from both teams. Tornado Alley getting through on that outside line, avoiding Country Jam.
A lot of people just making messes for everyone. Sometimes that's the best way to do, to just throw people off.
Oh, and it looks like, unfortunately, Pee Wee Hertzman has picked up a track cut, which will mean this will be another Power Jam brought to you by My Pussies in Hell podcast. Punky Bruiser out there, maybe a Power Jam, but decided it might be nice to get a little extra hit on somebody during their free time. Phyllis Killer picking up another penalty, unfortunately, as Tornado Alley gets through and picks up those points. You can tell Tornado Alley's in it for the long haul here, with this being a 2-minute jam.
It's that joy of getting a power jam and then realizing it's a 2-minute jam. The monkey's paw curls.
Pee Wee Hertzman has escaped the box and is able to get through, picking up points. But again, not eligible to call it off, as this is going to be a 2-minute jam. Tornado Alley seems like they might be just kind of assessing if they want to burn out much more energy during this jam, trying to wait it out with the clock. Saved by the bell there at the end.
All right, our quick score update here. Looks like we've got the River City Rats at 27 points, Twin Valley's Mountain Mayhem at 43. That gap is getting ever so slightly wider, but it's still anybody's game.
Starting off this jam, Mountain Mayhem 43, Rats 27 with Lynn Diesel up against Black Bolt out there.
A lot of pushing, a lot of shoving, a lot of people making sure the floor is still there.
Tell Lynn Diesel has really put on the gas there, trying to get by, but Black Bolt will be awarded lead jammer for Twin Valleys. Lynn Diesel looks for a little help from their friends there and is successfully able to pass it off with a Station 2 star pass to Shred Flanders just as Black Bolt comes back through and Lynn Diesel tries to reform with the wall. Go ahead and thank one of our sponsors this weekend. We have Haunts of Richmond, locally owned and operated, celebrating 20 years as Richmond's haunted history professionals. Public tours, private tours, and special events are offered year-round. Tickets are available at hauntsofrichmond.com. Check out Haunts of Richmond on all socials.
You know, I actually used to have a roommate that worked for Haunts of Richmond. She had a lot of really nice things to say about working there, God, probably 10 years ago now.
I've heard really good things, and I've heard that the Fort Myers team is going to be taking on one of those tours tonight. So I'll have to hear how it went.
What's scarier, the ghosts of Richmond or a bunch of derby players roaming the streets? Yes. The answer is both.
Looks like this might be an official timeout happening with some track repairs.
Some
and
track
maybe
repairs, some medical.
Maybe some spills.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's always interesting when the EMT is the one that comes out there with the spray bottle.
Yeah, you know, that's not a thing that we love to see, but we're glad. Let's see.
I think I have spotted the source of the liquid. But we'll be back in just a moment. This is a great time to also thank all of our volunteers. Again, this could not be possible without all of our dedicated non-skating officials and all the folks that are helping run the door, selling our merch, getting y'all hyped up in the crowd, running our raffle. So again, if you haven't supported the team yet, you can always check them out with one of the raffles. You can do a shout out here for the live stream. And of course, we've got our halftime performance coming up here in just over 7 minutes. We have Michelle Levine voted Richmond's best drag performer for 2 years in a row, and our Going to have her out here in halftime in just a short moment.
Also, too, talking about supporting people with merch, all of our teams here this weekend have merch tables. Some of them are coming from quite a ways away. Please buy a shirt and make it worth their while, aside from these nice, fancy trophies that we've got to give out for the winners, too. But trophies, unfortunately, don't pay for gas.
On top of our amazing non-skating officials, we also have our ref crew, Team Zebra, out there. Making all the calls, making sure we're playing safe. Of course, there's always a place for you here at River City. If you have ever considered playing roller derby, but you're not sure about the contact portion of it, you can always come out and be an official.
I very much support going and being an official for your local team, no matter where you are. It's a great way to learn the sport if you're new to it. It's a great way to meet some cool people. And most importantly, if you're not on skates, you're not getting hit.
And we're back, and we've got Kill Switch out for River City as our lead jammer during this jam. Unfortunately, it looks like we have Ultraviolent picking up a penalty there with the star in hand, which means this will be another power jam brought to you by My Pussies in Hell podcast, your favorite gruesome twosome podcast. Twin Valley's trying to shut them down out. Kill Switch is able to step through on that inside line.
A lot of people just absolutely no-selling some of these hits, just tanking right through it.
River City trying to take opportunity with this power jam, with again this being a 46-31 score currently in Twin Valley's favor. Ultraviolent.
We've got Ultraviolent back on the track, trying to make a star pass, seeing where it gets.
Looks like Iggy and Pelia has picked up a penalty there, which seemed like maybe Ultraviolent was going to be able to squeeze through as Iggy left, but the River City tripod is just back at it again, sitting on Ultraviolent, and Kill Switch is stuck behind the Twin Valleys wall. Looks like Ultraviolent was able to pass it off to Tornado Alley.
And that is the call for the round. With just over 5 minutes left, quick score check in here. We got the River City Rats at 35 points. We've got the Twin Valleys Mountain Mayhem at 46. Again, right around that 10-11 point split. Twin Valleys just ever so slightly in the lead.
As we go into this next jam, both teams are down a blocker with Phyllis Killer and Iggy and Pelia in the box from each team. And I feel like if I could read lips right now, Phyllis would be saying, I've never done anything wrong in my life ever. I don't know what you're talking about. Ooh, both Cannibal Lee and Shaw out at the same time, and it seems unsure which one was lead jammer. And it looks like it'll be awarded to Shaw, but there was a little bit of confusion with both of them being pointed at the same time. We'll see what Shaw decides to do. Ooh!
Oh, huge hit.
Shaw may not have picked up points, and it doesn't look like Cannibal Lee did either, but not before Cannibal tried to get a beautiful 180 hop on the inside line there around one of the Twin Valley blockers. Shut down, though, midair.
Sometimes you just got to try for it, man, but that is the scariest thing for me, to imagine jumping and then getting knocked out by somebody.
This is Virginia-based roller derby, so we're going to use the phrase, risk it for the biscuit. I have been saying the wrong skater's name. Iggy Icarus is out there for River City. I am thinking of Iggy and Pelia, who is on the Wilmington team out of Cape Fear. So, my bad, Iggy. Force of habit. I know too many skaters. Station 2 star pass to Tornado Alley with Country Jam as lead jammer for River City. River City's looking towards the bench, deciding if they want to call it off or not. And it looks like they're unsure if Country is actually lead jammer, so they're going to go ahead and just say this is a 2-minute jam as of right now. But that's okay, because Country Jam's
This is probably that time to go and catch up on those points.
Continue to pick up those points, yeah. Big hit by Country Jam onto a little Lawless there, knocking her to the inside, but that doesn't prevent her from picking up points.
We've got all the skaters back on the track. We're getting a little bit faster here, a little bit of the pack moving around. Again, both teams just neck and neck points-wise, just grabbing them where they can get them.
Country Jam, again, trying to get around Phyllis Killer there at the end. Tornado Alley right behind Country. Looking very over it, ready for the next jam.
Yeah.
Just over 2.5 minutes, or under 2.5 minutes left in this half. Maybe get 1 to 2 more jams left in it if we can. There goes Country and Phyllis again, with Vestigial Grim trying to clean Country up a little bit in the end there. Oh, and it looks like we have a lead change with River City River Rats now 55 to Twin Valleys Mountain Mayhem 54. 2 minutes remain in this half. It's going to come down to one more jam, it looks like, y'all. I apologize. It's Mountain Mayhem 58, Rats 55. River City hungry for those next 3 points. And again, apologies to everybody on the live stream there. I've been saying the wrong name. It is Iggy Icarus out there for River City Roller Derby. I should know better. That's my teammate.
How dare you?
But again, have good friends in Wilmington who must be in the back of my brain, I guess.
You know, that is the thing. There's only so many puns you can make, right? Like, I love derby names because it really pushes your creativity. But it turns out we all like the same kind of things, right? Which means we're all pulling from the same pool of jokes.
They're both great names. And I'm pretty sure both of those skaters played against each other earlier this season at the convention center.
I remember that. That did happen.
I was not here, unfortunately, but I did want to see the mashup really badly.
All right, looks like we have a timeout again.
This is going to be a team timeout for Twin Valleys. Looks like they want to maybe decide some next moves going into this last jam, potentially.
Yeah. So while they're thinking about things, why don't you think about buying something from Ghost Girl Creative? It's derby-owned, queer-owned. They sell soft stuff, hard stuff, and dead stuff.
And I believe, I could be mistaken, but I believe that is owned by our very own Sweets on River City.
So it is.
Got a couple other shops over there by several players. And let's not forget that our after party on Sunday night is brought to you by Bingo Beer Co. Join us for the ultimate after party on Sunday after the final game at Bingo Beer Co. 2900 West Broad Street, and they're running a pizza and beer special just for us.
Isn't that neat?
I have never been. I am so excited to go pick up some tasty craft beer from them.
Oh, God. It's been a long time. They've been around for a while now. Longtime Richmonders might remember them as an actual bingo hall that was just bingo.
I'm pretty sure they have skee ball. That's what I've been told over the years, is that they have a really good skee ball there.
Yeah, as far as I remember, they've got a whole setup, not only an arcade, but like the midway games like skee ball and the basketball shooting the hoops in a time limit and that kind of thing.
I'm a sucker for it. I'm so ready. Y'all thought I was competitive about roller derby. Wait till you see me play skee ball badly. I can't really play sports. You have to throw things. But, I've got the enthusiasm behind it.
You got heart.
Yeah. I'll just stick to using my full body as a projectile instead.
Yeah, exactly.
And we're back. Looks like we have Pee Wee Hertzman out there for River City and Black Bolt for Twin Valleys Roller Derby.
A little bit of a shakeup then for this, what might be the last jam of this half.
It looks to me like there's a good chance that Twin Valleys has put out their powerhouse wall. Pee Wee Hertzman always gets out, but unfortunately looks like is given some sort of penalty. It looks like a forearm potentially. And there's a Station 2 star pass that's handed off to number 138. That's going to be Cupcake out there, I believe, at the star for the first time today. And this will be a 2-minute jam, though.
You got to imagine being stuck out there, being like, well, we've only got one more jam. I'm sure we'll just call it off early. It's just right before the half, and then getting stuck with a full 2-minute jam.
Some beautiful sweep action there by Twin Valleys, especially from Black Bolt, who's doing a great job of just cleaning up that final player. Luger unfortunately picked up a back block penalty earlier, but Pee Wee Hertzman is released from the box and slices through, just barely getting by on the edge of their toes there on the outside line. And Sigmund Feud, it looks like, has picked up a penalty as well, which means that Pee Wee is out there on their own, hopefully getting a little bit of help from their friends. Both Cupcake and Pee Wee Hertzman stuck in the middle here on this turn, just chipping away at this wall.
Yeah, at this point, you got to imagine both teams' worth of blockers are just trying to do whatever they can to slow it down.
Once again, both these jammers are out right at the same time. You have to wonder if they're not having the conversation of, like, we could just stay back here.
Right.
And we could just wait out the clock. I don't think their bench would like that very much, but sometimes as a jammer, it's nice to share that moment of, like, I'm exhausted, aren't you exhausted?
You know, it's got to be worth it, right?
We could hug it out right now, and then you hit them instead.
It is always good to have a little sneaky jammer fight right there when you can.
Really dynamic two-wall up there in the front by Twin Valleys.
But that is the half. Looks like our score here at the half as it is updating again within that 10-point stretch. That's River City at 62 points, Twin Valleys at 73. We'll see you back here in about 15 minutes, but don't go too far because we've got that halftime show.
That's right. In just a moment, we'll be introducing Richmond's very own Michelle Levine. She's been voted Richmond's best drag performer 2 years in a row. We'll have her out in just a moment. Get your dollars ready if you haven't yet. There's an ATM located in the lobby. And I'm sure we'll have some Venmo information to share or something along those lines for the folks at home. Okay, so turn the Spotify one down first, right?
Yeah, it's paused.
Oh, and then here.
Play now? Got it. Is it?
All right, folks, let's give it up for Richmond's very own Michelle Levine.
Just a quick reminder, our scores as they sit right now are River City at 62 points, Twin Valleys at 73.
Starting out the gate here with two extremely strong jammers with both Cannibal Lee and Shaw out. Shaw is going to be lead jammer for this round with Cannibal Lee right behind. Both of these skaters are just incredibly fast. Woo, and Shaw slips through on that outside and calls it off quickly. Nice little power slide there by Cannibal Lee, stopping before hitting the pack.
We're just checking a thing.
Oh yeah, do what you need to do.
That should be that one. Is that annoying for y'all? If that
No,
was...
I love it when the music's loud personally. I think it does better for the crowd.
Yeah.
Me and Disco can be loud as well. Sorry about that. Just doing a little bit of audio testing.
Yeah, sorry. If our music comes through on the stream too hard, let us know and we'll turn it down. But it should be good.
Looks like we're getting a little bit of a spill cleanup there.
You know, that is the thing. People get so sweaty playing this game. Sometimes you hit the ground and you just leave a wet spot.
Just a human mop out there. Setting up for this next jam, Mountain Mayhem 77, Rat 62. And looks like we're going to have Pee Wee Hertzman versus Tornado Alley out there on the jam line. Brought to you by the Plug It Up podcast, a horror movie podcast about the monstrous feminine. I've heard it's very funny. I'm definitely going to have to listen to multiple podcasts after this weekend.
Yeah, I spend too much of my day on podcasts, so I'm always looking for new ones because inevitably I run through them.
I was going to say, I feel like Disco, you assist on a lot of podcasts, so you know all the ends behind the scenes, I'm sure.
Yeah. Yeah, we can get into that another time, unless you want to get me on a roller derby podcast, in which case we'll talk about it.
We definitely need more roller derby podcasts out there. It's one of my favorite things to do. Tornado Alley getting lead jammer for Twin Valleys roller derby.
Pee Wee Hertzman still fighting through. Looks like getting held right there, but
Be a Station 2 star pass to Sigmund Feud, who currently struggling with it in hand. Pee Wee Hertzman goes up to play a little defense with their wall. But it looks like a multiplayer penalty is going to be assessed to Punky Bruiser, which means that Tornado Alley will have to be released. Sigmund Feud duking it out there at the front against a Twin Valleys 2 wall. Finally, he's able to escape as Tornado Alley comes back to pick up some more points. And looks like Twin Valleys bench coach there tells them to go ahead and call it off before Sig can pick up any points. Current score, Twin Valleys 85, Rat 62. Getting a little bit of a spread there.
yeah, Twin Valleys pulling ahead ever so slightly. If they keep widening that gap, it's going to be tough to catch up.
If you missed us in the first half of this game, we talked about how Twin Valleys and River City plays against each other pretty frequently, and a lot of these players have long-standing history, good friendships, but that means it's going to be a nail-biter of a game. We expect a lot of back and forth during the score. Currently, we have Black Bolt out there for Twin Valleys roller derby going up against River City Tripod. Bad Lass attempts to try to hold back Black Bolt. Lynn Diesel will escape and is right behind Black Bolt coming around the turn here.
Nope, and that's the jam.
No points will be acquired during that.
You know, what I think is fun about this particular matchup, too, is that none of the teams are particularly imbalanced versus the other, right? Like, there's a pretty equal mix between both teams, between strong blockers and fast jammers and sneaky, jukey people of jamming and blocking varieties. Like, sometimes you get some of these teams where it's like, oh, this person is the fastest person on the entire track, and it sort of imbalances it. But, like, this is it's good. It's a good equal match.
Really nice defense there by Dio Slamdo, but unfortunately will pick up a penalty. Little one-on-one action there with Shaw. And there's a Station 2 star pass to Tofu for River City. Big hit by Shaw onto Kill Switch. Calls off the jam. Next up, we have Tornado Alley for Twin Valleys Roller Derby.
A quick score check in. The Rats are now up to 62. Mountain Mayhem at 88. We haven't cracked the 100 mark yet, but we're getting close.
Both of these teams are down a blocker at the moment with Dio Slamdo and Cupcake, I believe, is the other blocker in the box right now. Cannibal Lee out there for River City Roller Derby, attempting some of those spins that we've seen a lot of, but Tornado Alley gets through with a wide open lane on the outside and picks up Lead Jammer. Cannibal Lee trying to use that agility to her advantage and really split up the pack there and is able to scoop by Cupcake on that outside line. Tornado Alley back, trying to pick up a few more points before Cannibal Lee can acquire any, and is able to call it off just in time.
Some really rough blocker-on-blocker action right there at the end. People are getting a little vicious. People are getting a little punchy.
And again, we've got a lot of great vendors here today at the Convention Center. One of our vendors today is Dragon's Way Wellness. Check out their beautiful crystal jewelry and keychains. Here for a limited time, only on Saturday. So if you haven't checked them out yet, get on over there. You can also shout out Alter Go-Kart, handmade patches, stickers, and prints. It's so gay and cute. River City in the back trying to reform around Black Bull. Both of these jammers have yet to cross the pivot line. With Pee Wee Hertzman out there for River City getting dragged back by number 77. That's going to be, actually I believe that's 17. That's going to be Vestigial Grim out there. Black Bolt's able to get out and get Lead Jammer with Pee Wee Hertzman right behind. Both these packs a little split up at the moment. We'll see what happens. Hit to the outside there by Punky Bruiser onto Vestigial Grim. Gets Pee Wee Hertzman at least 1 point. See what the refs have to say.
It is always fun to see when people start realizing that the jammers are right neck and neck, and so the pack starts moving, and so the jammers start getting faster, and the pack starts getting faster, and suddenly people are actually moving instead of standing around and forming strong walls. It's a little scary.
It's always interesting to see how a jammer's energy can be enough to get a wall to react and move forward without even having to touch them sometimes. But the best blockers know to sit and wait and hold those jammers back. We have Shaw out as lead jammer for Twin Valleys Roller Derby and Lynn Diesel right behind. Shaw calls it off before hitting the pack. Current score, Mountain Mayhem 95, Rats 63, with still 23 minutes left in this game.
Now, if you hear those cowbells getting rung around here, we have some for sale over in the merch booth. But that does mean you'll be up against Punky Bruiser's husband on how loud you can ring that bell. He doesn't like to lose.
If next season we don't have a Mr. Punky Cam, I'm going to be sad. I feel like we should get one of those tiny mics on him.
Yeah.
Love to hear his commentary, although it might break the sound barrier on those. Iggy Icarus tries to hit Tornado Alley there to the outside.
Oh, both jammers right on each other. Yeah, sometimes that's best to just call it off before it gets too scary.
Today we're sponsored by Equinox Counseling. Thanks to Equinox Behavioral Health, explore, learn, share, evolve.
Oh, go for it. Oh, let's see. We've also got a vendor here, Tilted Head Curios, Derby-owned dead stuff, ethically made oddities and art, and queer-owned. You know, we got a lot of Derby-owned dead stuff for sale. I didn't know there was a correlation between Derby players and people who like dead stuff, but I mean, fool me once, I guess.
Cannibal Lee just popped through there on the inside line, kind of ducking down below the blockers from Twin Valleys. Black Bolt, though, saw an opportunity and went through the hole there. With now pin pushing, really having Cannibal's number, forcing the call off before Black Bolt can pick up any points. Both these jammers held scoreless in that last one. Again, give it up for our non-skating officials who are making this game possible today and this entire weekend. If you're ever interested in joining roller derby, but you're not sure about the skating aspect, we always need more non-skating officials and volunteers to be a part of our league. You can always find out more by checking out our orientation on River City's Instagram, coming up probably in the next month or so.
If you come join River City Roller Derby as an NSO, you can come hang out with me. That's normally my job, is out there keeping time on the track. But they let me behind a microphone, and that was their mistake.
Iggy Icarus trying to hold a bridge out here as the River City team tries to hold back Shaw, successfully giving Shaw a track cut penalty, which means this is going to be another Power Jam brought to you by My Pussies in Hell podcast. Pee Wee Hertzman out there for the River City.
Now's really going to be that time for Pee Wee to make up that point difference. But of course, that means people are going to start playing fast derby, and that means people are going to have to start skating fast.
Dynamic duo here, Phyllis Killer and Cupcake hitting Pee Wee Hertzman to that outside line. Pee Wee's able to cut back in, but not before pin push, and does a big hit to the inside and is going to attempt to run Pee Wee back. Country Jam coming to the rescue, hopefully to provide a little O with the rest of River City. Sees an opportunity with Iggy Icarus out there trying to open up some spots for Pee Wee. Quickly trying to reform here as Shaw re-enters. Country Jam trying to provide a little bit of O and attempts to hit out one of the blockers there. But Shaw is able to get through and pick up some more points. Pee Wee's still stuck behind with a drag back there by, it looks like, Phil's Killer. And the River City bench asks that Pee Wee calls it off. Currently, the score is Mountain Mayhem 97, Rat 67. So again, just a consistent hold here with this point spread.
I don't know if we've seen someone get 30 points in a single jam, but we've gotten close over the weekend.
You know, I think when the Derby world was a bit smaller, we did know, this is a fun little, maybe it's a little bit of a lore for River City for you. At one point, River City's very own little swole maid broke Susie Hot Rod's record for most points scored in a jam, although I have yet to find out how much that was exactly, and I believe it was up in the 25 range at the time, maybe in the 30s. God. And this was years ago, and I believe skaters have only gotten faster, honestly. And actually, last weekend was Susie Hot Rod's final game. It was a big loss for the roller derby community, but we love that we got to see her play one last season for any of the Gotham fans out there. It's also one of those moments where I like to remind folks it's important to know your derby history and remind everybody about the players that have been out here on their own trying to make it happen for years, especially from a team like Gotham.
It's true. I mean, modern derby as we know it has only been around since, what, the early 2000s?
I believe early 2010s. 2007 might have been, I want to say, when Texas brought it back for us all. 2004, because apparently it's 20 years. Thank you, Nat. I love a little derby history thrown in there.
But it looks like we are back. We've got Lynn Diesel skating for River City.
Twin Valley's wall gave a little hit back there on Lynn Diesel, pushing them to the inside, while Tornado Alley is being held in the front here by a tripod made up of Shred Flanders, Bad Lass, and Grim Possible, doing a nice little reform as Tofu holds that bridge. Lynn Diesel, fancy footwork in the back, gets a wide open lane on that outside, but goes head-to-head here with Phyllis Killer and Ultraviolet. Phyllis and Vestigial Grim try to hold back Lynn Diesel, finally escaping on that outside line here at the top. And Tornado Alley has just been released. Lynn Diesel gets those points and calls it off as soon as they can.
Yeah, again, sometimes that is best even when you're not in the lead, to just get the points that you know you can get and get out of there.
And again, the goal here is most likely for River City to try to chip away at those points and hold Twin Valleys so that they don't acquire any more and just slowly catch up to them. Current score, Mountain Mayhem 97, Rat 70, 17:43 left on the clock. Have Kill Switch out there for River City Roller Derby and Black Bolt for Twin Valleys. Another strong tripod here in the front by Iggy Icarus, Dio Slambo, and Country Jam holding back Black Bolt, but Black Bolt is doing a pretty good job of just separating them out. Thankfully trying to reform, but wide open on that outside line. It allows Black Bolt to get out. Gets lead jammer for Twin Valleys Roller Derby. Kill switch is just released as Black Bolt re-enters. Picks up those points with ease.
Yeah.
And makes the choice to call it off.
Yeah, Black Bolt gets through, and I think, yep, that pushes Twin Valleys right over the 100 mark to 101 points. The Rats at 70. Still close, but that timer's starting to run out.
Go ahead and shout out Body Arc, fitness that is independent of the noise. I believe they are also a queer-owned gym located over in Southside, nearby where I live.
Ooh.
They always look like they're having the best time in there, and they put on a lot of cool events. A lot
I
of
didn't know about them.
fun lifting fundraisers, so go and check them out.
I should look them up.
Shaw's out there on the outside. Gets lead jam for Twin Valleys.
Cannabelle Lee getting out, but unfortunately not in lead. And there we go. Jam called. Maybe she got those points. We'll see here in a second.
Got a fun little update for everybody that was listening on the live stream. So I was just approached and wanted to follow up with that little bit of Derby history. The record-breaking jam that little swole maid who used to go by Jolia Bondage had was 45 points scored in one jam.
Oh my God.
And some of the other names that were up there on that list for the same amount of scored points is folks like Scald Eagle from Denver Roller Derby, who's about to go to the World Champs. Peter Pan, who used to be a big name player, or also known as Tony Muse. So, you know.
Nice that
credit
we
where
have
it's
just
due.
a little taste of history here in town.
Out there on the jam line, we have Pee Wee Hertzman versus Tornado Alley, with Tornado Alley picking up lead jammer for for Twin Valleys. Shred Flanders with a Station 2 star pass. Gets out past Phyllis Killer and Cupcake there at the, Vestigial Grim at the front. Country Jam hits out Tornado Alley to the outside. The jam is called off. Just under 15 minutes left in this game, y'all.
Rats still at 70. Mountain Mayhem at 108. And there we are. Once again, we've got Lynn Diesel up against Black Bolt.
Some beautiful hip action there, jumping over their own players by Lynn Diesel. And Black Bolt gets out on that inside line once again by no surprise. Just been consistently getting through on that inside line all weekend. Oh, but unfortunately it looks like Lynn Diesel has picked up a track cut penalty just as Black Bolt picks up another pass. Again, this Power Jam is brought to you by My Pussies in Hell podcast, your favorite gruesome twosome podcast.
This could be what solidifies Twin Valley's lead here for the rest of the game. There's only 13 minutes-ish left, and if they can pick up a solid lead here, that might just be it.
You never know. We might have one of those 45-point jams coming up.
We might have one of those 45-point jams coming up.
Putting it out there now.
That's the challenge, right? That's the challenge to everybody on the track right now. It's time for you to get a 45-point jam.
We'll wait. Don't worry.
Easy enough for us to say. We don't have skates on.
I just think about the endurance of that all, and I just hope that a lot of those players were in the box when that happened, because as a jammer, that sounds horrible.
Look, man, you guys don't even do 27.5s anymore. I don't know what we're talking about. Like,
they're still hard. We have Shaw out there for Twin Valleys with a big hit there. It looks like Sigmund Feud. And Lynn Diesel escapes from the box on that inside. Getting lead jam. Shaw right behind. Looks like Lindy's will have a few moments to pick up a few points here.
Oh, that's right. We haven't talked about the raffle tickets in a little bit. We've got Fart walking right in front of everyone to sell some raffle tickets. I don't actually know what we're raffling off this weekend. I'm sure it's somewhere in front of me. If some nice person might tell me what we're selling, that would be nice.
For all that work, it looks like the River City Jam was only able to pick up 1 point and left Twin Valley scoreless with the 0 points in that last jam, which, for those watching at home, there was a lot of action for there only be 1 point acquired, but we'll leave it up to the next set of jammers. Tornado Alley out there for Twin Valley's roller derby, and Cannibal Lee again for River City. Grim Possible and Punky Brews are trying to hold Tornado Alley here at the top of the pack.
Cannibal getting just bumped around by the blockers, but has made it out. Both jammers out, scooting around.
Cannibal Lee comes into the pack hot and is able to call it off and pick up at least 1 point before Twin Valleys does. Again, River City just trying to chip away and catch up to Twin Valleys at this moment. Current score is 116 to the Rats 72. We still have 11 points left on the board. Getting tongue-tied.
Same. All right, we've got Kill Switch up against Black Bolt. Both jammers trying the inside line. Both jammers getting bounced out. The wall just absolutely sticking to these folks, but it looks like Kill Switch has managed to sneak out.
Some great offense there by Country Jam, and it feels like every time I compliment one of these players' offense, they get sent to the box. It looked good to me. I don't know, y'all.
Smack, have you considered perhaps that you're complimenting people who play perhaps aggressively like you how to play, like you love to play, right? Like,
well, you know, we got
sometimes you got to push the limits.
We got to get people in the stands, and the only way that's going to happen is with a couple of really good hits out there. So
It's true.
I want to feel it from the stands when they get hit.
We love big, safe hits, right? As long as people can take a big hit and also be safe and healthy at the end of it, that's good television.
Iggy Icarus tries to run back Black Bolt, but Black Bolt is able to get through on that inside line once again with Kill Switch still getting caught up behind. Calls it off, though. Decides they've had enough. Slowly closing in on that point spread there. Rat 76, Mountain Mayhem 116, with River City looking for a team timeout. During this timeout, we'll go ahead and mention two of our vendors. We have Tosha Jin Art, Korean folklore-inspired art with a modern take. Check out their magnet stickers and beautiful art prints. And we'll also go ahead and shout out Crazy Plant Lady, Derby-owned shop selling adorable plants and beautiful art.
I will also say to any of you out there who have say a cool battle vest that's full of patches, or if you like putting patches on your, let's say, on your derby bag or anything like that, over at River City's merch area, we actually have commemorative patches for this weekend, which look like a 24 rack of PBR, because of course they do. They say People Battle of Richmond 24. They're very nice. I don't know where I'm going to put mine, but I'm sure it'll go somewhere fun.
And for those of you in the audience here at home, we have now opened up concession stands. So if you have been waiting patiently for lunch, you can now go get yourself a little bevy, a little snack. We're back. We have Shaw up against against Pee Wee Hertzman out there. Both Pee Wee Hertzman and Shaw both almost getting out, but we have a big hit by Cupcake, I believe, out there. On to Pee Wee Hertzman, which unfortunately means that they'll be reabsorbed as Shaw comes around to get through once again. Shaw now up against a 2-wall here, but it looks like, unfortunately, Shaw's going to be assessed a back block penalty, giving Pee Wee the opportunity to take this power jam. Brought to you by my Pussies in Hell podcast. Pee Wee's able to escape as River City sets up their offense and tries to take advantage of the situation here. But there is a full wall out there of Twin Valley's blockers.
Yeah, man, these walls have been putting in work. Like, there is some really tough blocking going on today.
A little bait and switch there by River City with Punky Bruiser going in to play that offense for Pee Wee Hertzman. Pee Wee's able to get out, and Twin Valley's skater is assessed a penalty. Looks like that's number 416 that'll be going to the box. That's a lobotomy. Shaw's been released from the box.
And, of course, this is going to be a full 2-minute jam, so we've got about 30 more seconds to see how many points we can catch up on.
Shaw has been able to pick up more points in that last pass, and Pee Wee Hertzman had a pretty wide opening, but unfortunately some down skaters caused Pee Wee to get recycled back. And sometimes it's better to just play it a little safe there. And of course, as I say that, we see a big apex jump by Shaw, with River City attempting to just keep them from getting up. And that's going to mean that Grim Possible will pick up a penalty, unfortunately, though. Shaw's able to get through with a nice little 360 spin there. Just a casual one for fun, you know.
All right, so...
If you're going to do it, you should do it with style, right?
Yeah. All right, so let's see. So quick check-in on points. River City is at 84. Twin Valley's at 128. We've got just over 7 minutes left. It's close. It's real close.
Jam is on with Tornado Alley against Lynn Diesel out there. Lynn Diesel had some beautiful footwork on the outside line there, but decides to run back just in case.
You know, sometimes it's better to be cautious and take the recycle rather than chancing it and getting the penalty, not getting points that jam.
Just like that, though, Lynn Diesel gets through with that fancy footwork, able to step from the inside to the outside, using those long legs to their advantage. Grim Possible attempts to hold Tornado Alley back, but will have to rejoin the pack now. Just in time to play a little offense before Tornado Alley picks up any points. Again, River City not wanting to give away anything additional to Twin Valleys in this moment. Playing safe and clean, hoping to acquire as many points as they can in the last moments here. Today we're also sponsored by Kinker Press. Thank you to Kinker Press for printing all of our awesome programs.
All right, up next, we've got Kill Switch against Black Bolt. We've got, looks like Black Bolt has made it out.
Kill Switch stuck behind the Twin Valleys wall with some great offense provided there by Sigmund Feud, trying to do a little needle and thread, it looks like. With the River City tripod trying to hold Black Bolt back in the back here. Hoping to just get Kill Switch out, but a big pileup occurs, and we have a couple of skaters down in the center of the track, it looks like. Everybody kind of checks on one another, and then once they know they're good, they're going to go ahead and step around them and keep skating. But
You know, that is one thing I love about Derby more than perhaps some other sports, is that everybody is invested in making sure that everybody's okay, right? Like, there's no big, angry, I'm going to kick you when you're down. It's, oh no, I fell on you, are you okay, right?
we love a big hit, but we don't want to see anybody get hurt. And I think this weekend so far, all the teams have done a great job of just checking in with one another and playing safely, while also playing aggressively. 4 minutes left on the clock here. Looks like we have Cannibal Lee out there for River City Roller Derby. And I believe that might be a little Lawless out there for Twin Valleys. I stand corrected, that is Ultraviolent. Twin Valley's really trying to lock it down there on that outside line with some communication by Panamaniac, but unfortunately, it looks like Cannibal Lee is going to pick up a penalty, giving Ultraviolent a chance for a power jam. Really nice footwork by Ultraviolent on that outside, hopping in and out after a big hit. And a little 360 spin will get Ultraviolent out for lead jammer. And this power jam is once again really getting their money's worth here. My Pussies in Hell podcast, the gruesome twosome.
All right. Cannibal coming in hot, hitting that wall and trying to get through. And it looks like she did, taking a little knee tap there on the way through.
Some beautiful recovery. It looked like it was almost a backwards fall, and Cannibal just popped right back up and kept going. Looked like maybe there was a little bit of a skate to the butt in that moment, though.
Yeah, God.
That wheel bite.
I would not be looking forward to checking out bruises on everyone.
The circular wheel-shaped bruises are by far the worst, usually. Which is always funny to me that the ones that we get that are the worst are our own doing half the time versus another skater hitting us.
All right, we've got Tornado Alley up against Lynn Diesel.
Lynn Diesel
scooting through.
like it's nothing. Beautiful footwork there. And Tornado Alley takes that inside line as well. Both of these skaters getting out before they cross the pivot line with their packs. And this is a fast jam. Lynn Diesel takes a couple little spins on their toe stop there and calls it off before Tornado Alley can pick up any more points. Just 2.5 minutes left in this game. I can't believe it's over already, y'all. Looks like there might be some penalty assessing happening. We'll see here in a moment. Looks like we're going to continue as planned. Rats were able to pick up 1 point in that last jam, it looks like. 2 minutes on the clock. Jam is on. Kill switch. Out the gate on the outside line with a spill by number 17. That's Vestigial Grim going down. Black Bolt has the star in hands, trying to get through, looking for a little help from their friends. The two wall up here in the front slips by Country Jam, and Black Bolt will be out as a jammer now. Kill switch calls it off before Black Bolt can pick up any points. 1.5 minutes remains.
And while you start thinking about your plans for what to do after this is over, don't go too far, because our next game after this is the Naptown Warning Bells versus the Greenville Bridge Trolls.
Naptown yesterday was one of my favorite teams to watch. They were extremely dynamic and fast, and it was a very entertaining game against our River Rats, so I'm excited to watch them play again.
I have heard every game yesterday was a killer, and I am excited to go back and watch the videos for it.
It looks like we did have a timeout, a team timeout, although I'm not sure which team it was for. For River City. Thank you, Mr. Punky. Go ahead and talk about some more of our sponsors. We have Tri-City Gastro. Don't let colon cancer knock you down. Get your screening colonoscopy starting at age 45. And of course, we have our raffle still going on today. 1 ticket for $3, 2 for $5, and an arm's length for $10. So make sure you find one of our players with a really big wingspan, I suppose.
Yes, and I have been told we are raffling these themed gift baskets. I'm not sure where they're hiding, but I'm willing to bet if you stop by River City's merch booth, they can show you what they got.
Just 1 minute left on the clock. This might be our final jam of this game. Mountain Mayhem 138, Rats at 85. Jam is on. We have Shaw out there once again. Gets through with a beautiful 360 around Bad Lass and picks up lead jammer with Sigmund Feud going to the box for a penalty. Now 2 players standing in the box for River City. River City Jammer still stuck behind, and Shaw just makes it look like it's nothing, slipping by the 2 wall in the front here. Pee Wee Hertzman stuck in the back of the wall, just really getting knocked around there by Luger and a few of their friends. Handy Maniac waves back Pee Wee and reminds them they got to come all the way back behind the pack there. Janimal Cracker tries to take out Shaw. Pee Wee has successfully given a Station 2 star pass over to Shred Flanders. Sigmund Feud finally returning from the box as Shaw comes around to pick up more points. And again, Shaw just making it look effortless with some beautiful gliding around all these players. Like it's nothing.
Now,
Let's see if there's
are we going to get a timeout in the next 3 seconds?
Looks like they're going to run the
No.
clock. We'll check back in a moment here with the official score and tell you your MVPs for the game.
In the meanwhile, if you're here in person, get ready to go slap some hands as everybody scoots around here for the final lap.
All right, folks, I believe we have our final score is going to be Twin Valleys Mountain Mayhem at 150 points, River City 86. And our MVPs for this game are going to be for Twin Valleys Roller Derby. Our MVP jammer is going to be Black Bolt. And for River City, it'll be Lynn Diesel. MVP blocker is going to be Phyllis Killer for Twin Valleys. And Shred Flanders for River City Roller Derby. Be sure to come over to the announcer stand and pick up your patch afterwards. Up next, we have the Greenville Roller Derby Bridge Trolls and Naptown Roller Derby Warning Bells playing next. We'll catch you back here in just a few moments, folks.